Hello everyone, we're continuing our series on winning in the closed Sicilian. For those of you who don't know, this is part of a gigantic playlist where I cover all of the major lines in the closed Sicilian, and this is from White's perspective. And feel free to check it out if you're interested in adding the closed Sicilian to your repertoire. So right now we're looking at number six, move six, which is F4 and the response E6 from black. This game is from the Soviet Championship in 1990, and with the white pieces you have Grandmaster Yuri Balashov, and with the black pieces Evgeny Pigusov. And this is how the game started. Typical fashion, where both sides set up the pieces without much interference or pressure from the other side, and thus the position remains closed. Now here, black has to be careful because white is now threatening d4. And here's a pawn sacrifice. Again, if you've been following the videos in the last installment in this line, I looked at the game Spassky-Goldfeld, where e5 was played, and the continuation there was knight takes f3 check in order to pick up this pawn. Bishop takes f3. And now d takes e5. F takes e5, and then bishop takes e5 was played. Spassky then played knight e5. Knight e4, and can easily regain the pawn here. The main idea is to create this large amount of scope for the two bishops on the diagonal, and it kind of makes it a little bit difficult for black to develop and expand on the queen side. So in this game, and Spassky went on to win a really nice game, by the way. So here, 10 years later, a lot of water has gone under the bridge, and queen b6 was played here. And this was looked at as a possible refutation, almost, if you will, to this e5 by white, as black is now pressuring the b pawn and also fortifying the c pawn. Okay, so after the exchanges are through, the c pawn is no longer hanging. Rook b1, just simply protecting the pawn here. Knight e f5, hitting the bishop. Bishop drops back, and now let the exchanges begin. Knight takes f3, and queen takes f3. Okay. D takes e5. F takes e5. And now bishop takes e5. Same idea once again, knight e4. And with this double attack on the pawn, and now you can see the usefulness of this knight coming to f5 as the knight now jumps in with tempi on the queen, right? Hits c2, and now queen d1 and f5. Very committal move. We saw this in the Spassky-Goldfeld game. difference is down the line, black wind up losing this dark square bishop, which made uh, the king side very, very vulnerable. So knight d2. Of course, this is about to be played. So queen c7, c3, booting the knight out. Knight b4. I'm sorry, knight b5. Queen e2. Okay, so now we have to ask ourselves the question: what does white have for for the pawn deficit? Um, well, first of all, white has a nice initiative going. He's a lot of range for his pieces, and black's pieces are very uncoordinated here and look very awkwardly placed. All right. The obvious threat right now is just simply d4. Okay, and what that does is attack the bishop and opens up a discovered attack on this knight on b5. a5 can also, a4 can also be played, hitting the knight again. So there's nothing like super tangible here for white for the pawn, but it's basically the awkwardness of the black position and the awkwardness of its pieces, which white has to take advantage of here. So I believe that white definitely has compensation in this position, but white basically has to play very accurately and can't miss any opportunities here in the position. Black, for his part, also must play accurately too, not to get blown off the board. So a6 is played. There's a4, and again, where is the knight going? Can't go here and can't go there because the bishop would be captured. Knight a7. So now some of you are probably shaking your head like, yeah, white has compensation. Right? So did you see that knight go back? Knight c4, and this is what I'm talking about, the initiative. See how white is dictating the pace. Bishop f6, and now b4. Okay? And again, the initiative is very important right here. Black's lack of development means that white must step on the gas pedal in this type of position. Okay? C takes b4. Knight b6, hitting the rook. Rook b8. Knight takes c8. Knight takes c8. And now queen takes e6 check. Now white has gotten its pawn back. And we can see the power of these bishops. Alright, it's going to be very hard for black to deal with the bishop here. King g7. C takes b4. Queen d6. Queen takes. Knight takes. And now rook b to c1. Okay. Now, of course, this rook would like to go right to the 7th rank. Rook f7. Rook to c5, just moving along the rank as far as it can. h4, d2, and notice how with this bishop absent from the long diagonal, white immediately takes it over. Rook d5, rook to d7. Bishop to f3, and now rook b to d8. Bishop b6, rook e8. Bishop comes to c5, rook e d8. And now g4. And so now threat is simply to bring the bishop back here on d4, and then play g5, checkmate. So f takes g4, bishop takes g4. Now black is threatened with losing a piece. So knight f4, knight f5, excuse me, and now rook takes d7. And after that, black resigned. So that was another good example of this playing this line with the white pieces. And we can see that even sacrificing the pawn early in the opening, that black has to be very careful. But what I think is the problem is this move queen b6 isn't really that good. To be honest with you, this move queen b6 right here, it's one of those superficial looking moves, coming out threatening the pawn early. But you know, I know there's a poison pawn variation of the knight off, but here just, to me, what it is that white is able to get away with a sacrifice of a pawn because of the awkwardness of the white piece, of the black pieces. He's not able to get the proper development, and his pieces get pushed back. Like, look at this position, it's terrible. You know, it's just the queen side is not developed for black, and then there's really no choice but for black to eventually give up the pawn. And then with the powerful bishop here, it's just too much for black to handle. So that's one of those variations that get relegated to the dustbin. But of course, somebody with the engine probably could figure out a safe way to play queen b6, but maybe not. I don't know. So anyway, please like and subscribe. That'll be the end of that particular video. And check the links below. Of course, look at the playlist, and you can see all of the games that I've done in the Win with the Closed Sicilian series. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you for listening.